A sea of orange flooded downtown Moose Jaw on July 1st for the Standing in Integrity rally put on by the local group Our Home on Native Land. Speakers spoke of the need for more education about Canada's darker past and the attempted genocide of Indigenous peoples through the residential school system. Victor Prettyshield was born and raised in Moose Jaw and is a descendant of a residential school survivor. He says the injustice against Indigenous peoples has not gone away after the schools closed.
The residential school system, they're still being hurt today. There's only First Nation kids only make up 7% of the population of Canada, but yet alone right now are 52% in child foster care. The direct result of residential school. So no, it's not easy just to move on.
Brittany Prettyshield told the story of her grandmother's experience of surviving a residential school. She said the pain of reliving those memories had kept her grandmother silent for decades.
Her arrival at school, she was separated into males and females, which meant that she couldn't see 4 of her brothers. She remembers sitting by the fence that separated them, watching her brothers wanting to be with them.
It was the school's policy to cut the students off of all liquids in the evenings, and Prettysshield's grandmother was forced to drink from the toilet to quench her thirst. Worst of all, the male principal at the school would watch the female students while they showered. This all led to Prettysshield's grandmother leaving the school when she was only 15. She was unable to return home and had to live in an unfamiliar city.
Affected my grandma's beliefs and behaviors. Living in a city with few Indigenous people, Grandma had to work harder than her non-Indigenous peers to prove herself. Her cleanliness is obsessive, borderline OCD, and she worked hard to not fall into the stereotypes of dirty Indian, lazy Indian, or drunk Indian.
Lori Dietz, the chair of the Waccamaw Aboriginal Community Association and a survivor herself of the 60s scoop, said she was approached by the city about whether they should cancel the Canada Day fireworks out of respect for those mourning the recovery of over 1,000 unmarked graves at former residential schools.
The city, the kinsmen, more than one asked me, well, can we go with the fireworks? I said I don't support them. I'm not telling you to cancel them, but I do not support them. Had I called them to cancel the fireworks, they would have told you all in a press release to CTV that Lori Dietz and the Waccamaw Aboriginal Community Association told us to cancel the fireworks. And who would you have hated even more? I couldn't do it.
The rally was attended by Moose Jaw Police Chief Rick Barassa and City Councillors Jamie Logan and Crystal Froese. Dietz was disappointed, however, to not see Mayor Fraser Tolmie in attendance.
Mayor Tolmie, from your words, you were quoted as saying, "We want to understand the truth of the past and will seek advice from the elders and the entire Indigenous community to understand what further actions we can take as a city."
Dietz said she is done asking the city for permission to hold ceremonies on traditionally owned Indigenous land.
We are asserting our inherent rights for unrestricted use and access of our land for traditional purposes. We call upon you, the City of Moose Jaw, to do the right thing and return 5 acres of land from Tadawau Park. This is 1% of the total land designated as Tadawau.
Dietz hopes to form an agreement that would ensure that no entity such as the city, province, or Waccamaw Valley Authority could exercise any control over the 5 acres of land, and that it would be up to the local Indigenous community to look after the area. For DiscoverMooseJaw.com, I'm Daniel McElroy.